Hello, this is the Cobra M41C, which is a 16-inch push rotary mower, and this is how it will be delivered to you in a strong cardboard box like this. So you need to unpack it, and what we're going to do is to take everything out of the box, and then we're going to show you how simple it is to put together, ready for you to mow your lawn. So it's really well packaged in transit, so we can take all of this out, which just holds it in place and stops it moving around. And here we've got the grass collection box, so we'll put that there, we'll need that. And then down here we've got the all-important owner's manual, which tells you everything you need to know about your mower. So that needs to stay safe, so we just need to get rid of all the packaging and then we can get it out. The mower itself is quite heavy, so you're going to need somebody just to help you lift it out, and then we can assemble it and get it ready for mowing. So the first thing we need to do is to assemble the handlebars. Really easy to do. All we need is a screwdriver, and we've got these two pieces to start with. There is a left and a right, so it is important that you put them in the right way. And as you put them into the mower, you'll see at the back there are two holes where this tubular steel handlebar goes in. So we have to position these so that this adjuster, tightener, is on the outside of the mower. So that one would go in there like that, and this one would go in that hole there. So again, both of these, as we can see, are on the outside. If you put them the wrong way around, we can't fix the next part of the handlebars onto it. So we have to push them right down nice and firmly into this socket. So push them firmly in, and you can just adjust them. If you get down and look, I can just see on the inside the small hole in the tubular steel. So I know that that is in place. So simply a case of taking one of the screws that's provided, and then we need a crosshead screwdriver and screw it through. So that will go in and it will pick up the hole in the tubular steel, and I can feel it now going through into the tube, and then tighten that nice and tightly. So that is firm and rigid now in that socket. So we now need to repeat that on the other side. I'm just going to push that down, just give it a little wiggle. I can see the hole is there, and then in with the screw. There, so nice and tight. So that's the first part of the handlebars in. Next we connect the top section, and this is the top section. I'm just going to twist that round to make sure we get it the right way. So that is the way it will be, with the brake handle at the top like that. And what we've got to do is to take off these wheels on either side. So once we've taken it off, it's simply a case of then putting the handle on through the hole and just put it on loosely to start with. And then we do the same on the other side. We just take this one off, and then again that one goes through there, and just put it on loosely to start with. So it's then just a case of lifting that up into position, and then we can tighten it with the wheel. So this side first, and then it's spring loaded, so just tighten that one, and then just give them both a final tweak, so that makes sure that everything is nice and firm there. So it's secured with the screws at the base, and then we've got it tightened here with the wheels. If you want to fold the handle down for storage, then we just loosen these off, and this folds down towards the engine at the front. And then the other thing we need to do, we've got the cable here. This is from the engine stop lever there. So all we need to do is to take the plastic clip, put that onto the cable like that, and then we can just spring it on into place. So that just keeps that nice and neat and tidy and stops it flapping around when we're mowing. So that's the mower assembled, but before we can get it ready for mowing, we need to get some fuel in it. So we need some petrol and oil. So we'll do that now. So first thing we need to do is to put oil in. Oil is provided with the mower, so you don't have to buy any. You've got the right grade of oil with it. And this is the oil filler here. Very easy to spot. It's yellow. It's got a little label on there initially, but we just take that off. We can get rid of that. That doesn't need to stay on. And then it's a case of topping it up. Now, an engine of this size holds 400 millilitres, and you get 600 millilitres in the bottle. So you've got a bit of spare should you need to top it up in the future. It is important though that we put in the right amount of oil, so don't put the whole bottle in. If you put that in, it could cause problems and it will certainly smoke. If you don't put enough in, of course, then that can damage the engine. So we need to be as near to the 400 millilitres as possible. So just carefully pour it in nice and slowly, let it just sink down into the engine. The good thing with the bottle is it's got graduations on the side there, so we can see exactly how much. So we need to make sure we go from 600 down to 200 millilitres to get the 400 millilitres that we need. And of course this oil is necessary to keep the engine running properly and lubricated, so we do need to spend just a few minutes making sure that we get this right. So just a little bit more and we're there. Right, okay, so that's the right amount of oil in it. So just to double check before we actually start the engine, we've got the dipstick there. So with a dipstick, always screw it firmly back in to its housing, and then we can take it out again. And although the engine oil is new, it will be clear, but I can see on there that it's come up to the maximum point there. So I know I've got the correct amount of engine oil in there. So now we've got the oil in, we can put the petrol in. We use unleaded for this, and the filler cap is on the top of the engine there. So just pop that off. We've got some petrol here. Just a little tip is always use fresh petrol. Don't use some that you've had hanging around in the garage for months and months. It just goes stale and the engine will run and start much better with fresh petrol. So we can just put some unleaded in there, just enough to get us going, just to make sure everything's working right. So basically now the mower's ready to mow the grass, so we'll get it down onto the lawn and fire her up. So the engine on this mower is a pull start, so we've got the recoil here. So what we need to do is to just pull the lever in here. This is the engine stop lever. That just takes some of the compression off the engine and makes it easier to pull the cord out. And then we can hook that neatly onto this hook just here. It puts it in a really convenient position for starting. So release that. Now this engine hasn't got a throttle, it's got an automatic choke on it. So once you start it, it runs at the normal revs that you need. So you don't have to worry about anything like that. So before we do start it, we can put on the grass box. So that just simply clips onto the back of the mower. It's really easy. It just clips onto the little lugs at the back, and then the flap holds it firmly in place. So now we're ready to start cutting the grass. But before we start the engine, a little tip is just to lift the height of the mowing deck like that. That way the blade isn't in contact with the grass. It just makes it much easier on the engine. As I said, this is an automatic choke, so all we have to do with this mower is to push the primer button at the front 3 times, and that just gets some petrol through into the carburettor. And then we pull in the brake handle there, and we pull the cord and it will start. Now this engine has never been started before, so sometimes it just takes a couple of pulls just to get the fuel through. So it's literally just give it a pull, first time, away it went. So when you've let the mower just have a minute or two just to warm through and to get the oil around the engine, just to stop it, you just release the lever here and that cuts out the engine completely. So you are now ready to mow. But just one thing to remind you, with the mower you will get a socket which is for taking out the spark plug should you need to, and you also get the engine manual and the owner's manual that's got everything in there from how to put the mower together and how to look after it while you've got it. So keep those in a safe place. And that's it. You can start your mower and you can mow your lawn now to your heart's content. So enjoy it.
Remember to register your Cobra online at www.cobragarden.co.uk, and always have your Cobra serviced regularly. Check the website for your nearest dealer.